have been, losing their minds on different levels because they can't handle it. One should never be afraid, of course, to investigate, to believe, or have curiosity and an inquisitive mind about these things. But there needs to be a respect for the subject matter as well, a healthy kind of detachment from it all, and a healthy balance. One also needs to live one's life, and having a laugh, having a few drinks with some friends or whatever, go out into nature, play, create, paint, draw, have some fun, laugh, disconnect from it all for a while. I think that that's vital to your mental health. It's so important for your personal balance. And I'm not saying that Rick didn't do all of these things, but people are very different. This is something that you have to feel for yourself. You have to know yourself. And I'm just saying that sitting in front of the black screen to the world, as it were, your computer monitor, the Palantir, as I call it sometimes, sitting in front of that and with that too much shaping your worldview solely through the information that is gained there, that might not be so great all the time for you. It's like anything, like watching too much TV. Many know that will make you go nuts in one way and psychologically weak, in another. And I think that this shouldn't be solely the main source that dominates your life or shape all our opinions about the world. It all depends on where you look, of course, and what you're looking for. Some people might do fine with absorbing very much information all the time, but demands and pressure is a very powerful thing. So this was Rick's journey on this planet this time around, at least. I'm very proud to have been able to talk to Rick and be part of what he did and the information that he synthesized and brought forward. And I will miss him, although I didn't know him that well. I will miss him, definitely. So with that being said, now I want to hear from Ian Crane. I want to thank you for coming on back to the show, Ian, and thanks for letting me go through that introduction to this program and read that out. It was very important for me to do that and just kind of state my position, at least, on this. But, with that, thank you for coming on, Ian. How are you?
Hi, Henrik. Hey, it's good to be back with you, although unfortunate timing for all the reasons you just stated, of course.
Yes. So, I guess that you heard about this a while back as well, about Rick, and as I understand it, were you in contact with Rick yourself personally, or via email or something like that?
Actually, to answer your first question, I heard about this last Friday morning via an anonymous email. I mean, I don't follow the forums particularly. I find that you can get bogged down in those and end up down a lot of blind alleys. But I received an anonymous email last Friday morning which advised me of Rick's death, and in fact I invited the author of that email to call me, which he did, and he explained as much as he knew during the course of that phone conversation. And I did actually ask one of the moderators of the David Icke forum to post up my condolences to his family, because I mean, although I'm certainly of the mindset that Rick has simply just moved to another place.
Yes.
It's just the end of the physical vehicle, not the end of Rick Clay per se. But I asked to post the condolences to the family. I didn't actually have any email exchanges with Rick, other than shortly after his blog appeared, he did write to me and acknowledge the fact that the springboard to his research had actually been attending my presentation at Glastonbury last year, the Fool Me Once presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote back to him and said, good to hear from you, Rick. Please feel free to give me a call sometime. And I gave, in the email, I gave my phone numbers. But unfortunately, I never heard from Rick. So apart from literally one email in each direction, there was no more contact than that.
Oh.
But I was very surprised to see Rick's blog pulled. I think it was the sort of sometime in June, because he, as you rightly say, he'd been on your program, I think a week or two after I first came on.
Yes.
And obviously his blog attracted a lot of attention, and rightly so. There was some very good stuff there. And when the blog disappeared, I must confess I didn't suspect foul play at all. But I did actually suspect, that there may be a sort of, some reflection on Rick's part as to, the speed with which he was putting stuff out there, because like you alluded to in your introduction, this information, as we delve into, how should I say, the occult realm,
Yes.
can come at us very thick and very fast. And our challenge is to integrate that information and use that knowledge wisely. And I liken the situation very much to my own awakening. I mean, I was a little bit older than Rick. In fact, arguably quite a bit older than Rick. I was in my late 30s when, if you like, the trigger went and in my DNA and the Kundalini was awakened, and the universe decided to sort of kick my ass out of my sojourn in the corporate realm and force me to reflect on everything that I thought I knew. I still have. I mean, I have a pile here. I have probably close on 36 notebooks of all the stuff that was flooding at me in a period. Actually, those 36 notebooks span a period of about 3 years, so it's roughly one a month that I was filling. And this information, I mean, what I took it as was pieces of a jigsaw. The only problem was I didn't have the picture.
Yes.
And so the pieces of the jigsaw didn't actually make any sense to me at the time, although they were all very interesting pieces. And my work, if you like, over the last decade has been to try and put those pieces into the picture. And some I have, and many I haven't. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the pieces of jigsaw I've incorporated into the work that I've put out over the last few years. And there's other pieces of the jigsaw that are still waiting to find their place in the bigger picture. And I'm sure over time I will find where they fit in. And I think this is how should I say, the nature of the beast. And I am absolutely understand why it was that Rick felt he wanted to immerse himself into, studying down this particular avenue, because it is exciting, it's stimulating, and
yes.
You feel as though you're really onto something revelationary, as well as revolutionary. Mm-hmm. But in reality, I mean, what was interesting, re-listening to Rick's interviews, I mean, although he does reference a few people that he has obviously checked on to support his own findings. I mean, a lot of it has obviously come to him directly.
Yeah.
Now, how that came to him directly at this juncture, we don't know. I mean, I will make absolutely no bones about it, but a lot of my insights came whilst I was, let me put this tactfully, in the shamanic realms.
All right, gotcha.
Okay.
Yes.
And consequently, one brings information back from the shamanic realms. Some of it is junk, and some of it is useful. And obviously, what we have to do is we have to practice the art of discretion and discernment and filtering, and then decide, how it is that we're going to put it out there.
Yes.
And I think, just like David Icke, I have to say that David Icke taught me a amazing lesson. And I'm sure he taught many people an amazing lesson, because back in the early 90s, when he had his revelationary moment, I mean, he felt this absolute need to sort of get out there and broadcast it.
Yes.
And, as he will admit himself, the turquoise shell suit moment on the Wogan show wasn't his finest hour.
Right.
And tragically, he took he still probably, even to this day, trying to sort of overcome, if you like, the negative reaction that moment caused. But the lesson for me was, don't stick your head above the parapet until you're comfortable, with what it is you're going to present and the way in which you're going to present it. And of course, also consider, I mean, one has to be empathetic, because, one of the things that I try and do is take great care in the way in which I present material, because I want to try to bring my audience with me, not lose them.
Right.
And I think, what Rick has succeeded in doing, without any question, is introducing if you like, a great tranche of people to a realm that exists outside of their perception of third dimensional reality. And